Bro, your story.
Incredible story.
Is insane. Like there's been specials on it. There's been features and everything else. But I would love to dive into you guys, like you just being homeless, young. Like how does a dad with 5 kids manage to protect you guys? And what is he quoted saying? Like protect your guys' destiny. Mm-hmm. Like dive into that for us. Cause that's a hell of a journey, bro.
It was honestly, bro, like in that moment at that time, I didn't really fully understand like what I was going through because I was with my family and like, I was like, dang, we doing a lot of moving, but it was like, that was normal for us. You know what I'm saying? So like, I didn't really have the time to like process it. Like even throughout all of that, I still had fun. You know, I'm with all my siblings.
How old are you when this part of your life is happening?
So it was right after my parents' divorce. So it was probably like, I was probably in like 4th grade. So for like 4th grade until like 6th grade. And then like 8th grade, after 8th grade, like a year or so after that. And then we was kind of like stable. So it was like pockets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
So it was like 6th grade to 8th grade and then a small break at 8th grade. And then
then we stayed at a house. Then we stayed at a house for like a year and a half, 2 years, and then like a little pocket again. So yeah.
And the pocket was essentially living out of your dad's Suburban.
Yeah. Or like motels, like hotels, like all of that. Anywhere we used to always try to go to somewhere where it had the free breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
The Continental.
Get you a little box of cereal.
Yeah, get some little cereal, get some little
fill it in your pockets and everything.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, obviously, when you sit back now, it's a crazy story. But you were talking about like at that point, you didn't even realize what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, you were just busy having fun, being a kid. Like, what was that experience like in the moment? Not looking back on it now.
In a moment, I would say it was different because I used to be upset like having, one pair of shoes, you're going to have to make work for the whole year or like maybe 2 if you know what I'm saying, lucky and like having to like, 2 or 3 pairs like uniforms and having to wash them each day or whether it's in the sink or pulling over and like, going to a little pump side of the road, like pumping water, like having to heat up water, all of these types of things. It was what I was used to. I never really thought it was something different or unusual until really I got to college. And when I got to college, it was like the first time I had a bed, so like, I'm like, damn, like I used to sleep on the floor. I used to make a pallet on the floor for like the first like month and a half. And my roommate, Irv Smith, he used to ask me like, bro, like what's going on? Like, so, and that was my first time like really processing it, you know what I'm saying? Like really like sitting down and being like, okay, this is not normal. Like what I've experienced, what I've gone through is not normal. Like, and then it got to the point where like football was always like an outlet for me. And at Alabama, it got to a point where they was like, man, you might want to talk to somebody. Like you might want to, either get counseling or open up to somebody you feel like you trust about what you've been through to be able to like, cause I never wanted to tell the story. It was a story that was never going to be told because I felt embarrassed by the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I never want, like, even when I went to school, people never knew. Like, only people that knew was my friends because they'd come over and be like, where we at right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but like that was really like it. So like for me, we had a media guy at the time. His name was also Josh at Alabama. And he was like, man, he the one that convinced me to do it. And he was just basically telling me, he was like, man, like, you don't understand how many people like have this same story going on or a similar story. And you don't know how like your impact can affect and change somebody's life. And that's when I was like, you know what? Like, you right. And then that's what like, I finally told the story. Like I never talked about it. I'll tell people all the time that talking about it then was like the first real time I ever talked about it. And I didn't know how therapeutic it really was for me to finally like process it, So it was smooth.
What was having Josh push you to do it? Were you somebody who was very quiet and they were trying to like?
Yeah, so I was quiet, but like I was quiet, but I got in trouble a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you were like a troublemaker, but nobody could really know.
Not
what
like
was
a troublemaker.
on.
Like I did everything I was supposed to do when it comes to like schooling and stuff, but I used to just do dumb shit like all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I got in trouble for riding my dirt bike on a quad, like just dumb shit, having paintball wars in the dorm. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Just sounds like a kid had very little structure growing up.
Yeah, literally, like just doing dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like, it got to the point where like, I had a son. I had my son in high school. My literally National Signing Day, February 3rd, my senior year. So like when I got to my junior year, and that's when I finally told the story, like my junior year. When it got to my junior year, I was kind of getting to the point where I'm like, shit is starting to get real. Like, I'm like, all right, what am I doing? Like, I'm gonna have to, you know, either go to school and be good at this, get a degree and go work, or like I need to, you know, take this football stuff kind of serious and figure it out. And so like, as I got to that point where I used to clash, like I clashed with Saban a couple times. Because I just felt like the pressure, you know, the outside pressure was starting to like, all right, you run out of time. And then at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm doing everything right from the class standpoint to, you know, workouts. I'm not missing no workouts. I'm like, damn, I'm not playing for real. Like, I'm like, what's going on? And then like, I finally just like spazzed on Saban one game. like, yeah, it was one of them, like, you know how.
Which game was it?
I remember it. It was Ole Miss. My junior year, Ole Miss, I think it was the third or fourth game of the season. I had scored, and Henry Ruggs' little brother played linebacker, and like I dragged him. I'm like, he holding on to me like 6 yards in the end zone, still grabbing me. I'm like, so we had some words. They threw the flag, so I'm like, okay, I already know what's coming. It's Saban, you know what I'm saying? So I already know what's coming. So I'm like, all right, Saban cuts me out. I'm like, all right. I eat it, you know, like everybody, especially when you're in the wrong. You like, all right, whatever. But then like a couple drives go back and he came back to like cuss me out again. And I must have got up and I'm like, yeah, we had some words. And then after that, like we got to halftime and I was really like, this is actually the first time I'm actually fully telling this story. We got to halftime and I was like, I took my pads off. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm finna go transfer, like Oregon, I'm talking to Oregon, I'm talking to Oklahoma, like I'm about to like, you know what I'm saying, like figure it out. I'm like, it's my junior year, I'm running out of time. But then I talked to Coach Locks, you know, he the head coach of Maryland now. And he was just basically telling me like, man, like you don't understand that this look, if you was to quit on your team right now and leave, like the look, even if you right, it's not gonna look good. So like, I was like, you know what? Like, you're right. I had to start processing. And I ain't gonna lie, I cried, bro. Like, I sat down and cried because I'm like, bro, what more do y'all want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing everything right and y'all still.
This might be our Buffalo Wild Wings. He has,
shout out Buffalo
just
Wild Wings.
Interrupting an incredible story right now.
I need to hear the end of this story.
He has no clue. Josh Jacobs just sitting in the garage talking about Ole Miss, Alabama.
Ole Miss, Alabama. Halftime, pads are off. Yeah. Oh, my God.
All right, so you're sitting there and it's weighing on you so much. You start having tears because it's something that you're carrying.
This is at halftime.
Yeah, so yeah, it was at halftime. I started like, you know, like literally like I'm so frustrated at the point I'm like, I'm mad. I want to fight, honestly. And like, and the crazy thing is that's the first time they ever seen that side of me. You know what I'm saying? So like they always like, we used to him just being quiet. Like, you know, never say nothing. Like, you feel me? So like I was like amped up. And so he told me the story like, okay, come back, it's a bad look, whatever. I'm like, you know what, you're right. So we come back out, halftime, I'm returning punts. They kick the ball to me. I return it like 60, 70 yards. And I didn't even celebrate. I just stared at Saban the whole time, walking to the sideline, just stared him down the whole time. And then we had a meeting on Monday and we basically like sat down. He like, man, what's going on? Like, we started talking. I'm like, man, like, you say that you know, take care of guys that you feel like work hard and don't get in trouble and do all these things. I'm like, what more do you want me to do to be able to play? I'm scoring. Like when I touch the ball, I'm like, it ain't like I'm playing bad. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm not getting too many opportunities. So I'm like, what do you want me to do? If it's not enough room for me, let me know. Let me move around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Type deal. And this was before, you know, you couldn't go play. I would have had to, you know, sit out a year and things like that. So I'm like,
did you redshirt?
Nah.
Okay, so you would have been able to redshirt.
I would have been able to redshirt, exactly. So like, I'm like, man, like, and he was like, you know what? Like, that conversation changed everything. Everything. Like me and him, like we became like kind of like tight after that, because one thing about Saban that I've learned in being around him is he respects people that talk back to him. And not what I mean, like not be disrespectful, but like have the balls enough to say something back to him. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people walk on eggshells around him. Whether they playing for him or they working for him, they just scared of him. You know what I'm saying? So like anybody that got like a little bit of he like, you know what I'm saying? So after that, I just started playing. I started making plays, and then the rest is history.